We have multiple signals set to trigger here as stocks continue their melt up led by technology. Spiders hitting a high of just under 665 here today. May have been exact. It is Thursday, September 18th, 2025. If you guys like the video, maybe give it a like, maybe subscribe to the channel. You can also come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts, analysis, and live day trading. Going to be some pretty good moves here pretty soon from what I'm thinking here. And we do have that sale going on. It'll be till October 17th, so take advantage of that while it lasts. Anyway, let's get into it here today. So a lot going on here. Market melting up, and we had, I talked about this in the morning video. I said the high would likely be around 66.50, maybe 665 SPY. And, we pushed through it by 5 points or so. And, we've backed off since there. So, just pretty much pedestrian after that. But yeah, typical post FOMC hedging unwind. I said yesterday there was nothing saying we couldn't try to gap and go today based on the support level holding, which we talked about right there, 66.20. It was a pretty much picture perfect low. Really upset I didn't catch that low. I was trying to, but tape was moving a little too fast for me to get into that. But nonetheless, I had a nice decent day trade this morning on ARM and still holding a runner on that. So nice bounce there. Obviously, Intel was the big news this morning. Everybody wants to talk about Intel. This might mean revert to $30 by tomorrow, though. That does look like that is where the call wall is sitting. So don't be surprised if that dips just a little bit into tomorrow. But, overall, very nice move for Intel. And, there was a good dip buy on stocks like AMD. AMD hit 150. I was watching that as well. And TSM, I was looking for 250. It didn't get there. But nonetheless, nice move there today. And yesterday we talked about a sell to news and bonds. We still have that with TLT. This is something I have not seen anybody. So this is signal number one. I'm not going to get to all of them because there's just too many, and it doesn't really matter one way or the other. But there's a lot of things that I think would be set to trigger here. One is TLT here, and I'll just use ZN. So this is the note futures. You're going to notice this morning jobless claims. It was a slightly lower than expected, but bonds sold off anyway. And this is the first time in a long time I've seen ES actually correlate to bonds. So you can see it that the same exact time we sold off here, and exactly when ZN bounced, ES bounced, and it's been up all day. Now, yes, ES has been bouncing way better, way farther, way more than ZB and ZN. A lot of that just having to do with the mammoth amount of positive gamma that we have rolling off after tomorrow, that's signal number two. But the point is here, I mentioned this yesterday, like if yields start to break out, does the narrative shift to, wait a minute, inflation's coming back? Basically, right, the Fed's cutting with inflation at 3%, right? So there's that. Now we say, well, all the stocks always shake it off. They always shake it off. Well, today, they went with bonds for once. And if, I'm very curious to see how this performs after the positive gamma rolls away. Which will be after tomorrow. Number two, mathematically, if you know your stuff, I don't need to get into it too much, but devil's number is right up there. I think, and you guys know I don't say this type of stuff very often, at least not this specifically. I think there's a very high chance you could see some sort of a pivot high tomorrow, especially if that number gets tagged on a gap up. I think you want to fade whatever direction the market gaps in tomorrow, and if it's up, there could be some mean reversion in play here. And we're basically two standard DEVs off the 20 currently. So there's that. That's another signal. How about I don't know if you didn't believe in any of the other call walls on S&P, you can look at 600 on QQQ, right? So we're right there. I don't know. It looks pretty big to me. It looks like there's nothing above that. And it looks like the Qs are stretched enough into it that it's probably not going to get through there, at least not right away. So there's another signal. I talked about VIX 1550. There's a reason why I said that number specifically. Again, I won't get into that either, but you can see the gap down here, and the VIX is flat right now. Even VIX futures and the VIXY, which are the worst of the bunch, they're both flat here with an up tape. So, there's another thing there as well. Also a pretty big natural time cycle triggering this weekend too. So a lot of things going on here, and we've been trading up into all of them. A lot of convergence is going on currently. Like I said, you've got a deep RSI divergence, a deep divergence with the VIX coming off the lows. We've got correlation really rising right now, which tells us that vol sellers are having a little bit of trouble here. All right, so I'll flip it to a line because of that stupid skewed part, but you can see, higher lows here for the first time in a long time. So correlation increasing, which, again, to me means index pinning is decreasing, right? And vol sellers are having trouble keeping the VIX down. So a lot of signals here. We'll see what happens. Been a little early, obviously, so far, but again, to be fair, we're only like 100 and 150 points off of where I thought we would pull back from, and there's still plenty of time until end of quarter here. So we'll see if that ends up being the case. And I'm very interested to see how the bond market how this plays out with the bond market here, because again, you've got a bond market that's rejecting the Fed right now. Even the twos, the 2-year yield is up today, right? TLT, it bounced to 89 where we thought it would, and actually got a nice trade on TMV this morning too. So again, holding a runner there. But yeah, a lot of stuff converging here in this area. So that's my thoughts on the matter. Yeah, Qs again, your 600s right there. IWM. So you guys, I'll spare you from going into a sermon on this again, but sometimes I'm a little early, but I'm usually not incorrect. I'll just say that. Diamond here, again, new all-time high, about to make a new all-time closing high, or at least pretty close to that. And again, we'll see what happens tomorrow there. Semi's obviously up big on the back of Intel, so just a euphoria move there with heavy volume. So just be aware. IGV, also very nice move here, new all-time high there as well. Let me check Oracle. Yeah, Oracle's down, but I think Microsoft, Microsoft only down too. Let's see. Do we even have, what's up? CrowdStrike, there we go, okay. I knew it was one of those, okay. There's CrowdStrike, 13%. So nice move there. Transports are fractionally higher here. Again, watch that trend line though. On the daily, we talked about interest rates. I'll just tell you right now, TLT 89's got a hold right now. Otherwise, we'll see 88.50 pretty quick. It looks like we're in negative gamma next week too on this. So just throwing that out there. XHB still fine. It's backed off pretty nicely, but weekly pattern just needs to base, and then I think it can go higher. It might take some time though. Right? I mean, if you look at it. Again, just to flip back here, there's a lot of supply up here. These are all trapped buyers from late last year. So if this bases, you let the 20 MA catch up. I actually like it for a long later this year. And same thing maybe with IYR too. A lot of trapped buyers here, but it's basing inside, inside bar right there. As long as that holds, it's okay. XLF, again, nice move, up 6 cents. It did come off the high zone. Very curious to see. We got about 25 minutes left, or sorry, 35 minutes left. What is this, 25, I think? Yeah. Here you see that red bar is still holding on a closing basis. KRE was all over the map intraday, but ultimately it's up. And again, it's with the Russell. This looks pretty good here. So this still looks all right. So nothing saying that can't go up still. Trend is up. Broker dealers, trend is up there too. Be careful, that might be kind of like a little Wyckoff schematic though. Definitely has that kind of look to it. Even XLF a little bit, not as much though. Anyway, oil, that was down, but nothing horrible. New contract too, so a lot of nonsense going on there. Look at the whipsaw, that's totally normal on a new contract day. Ultimately down just 34 cents. It's still got a good chance here though. It's still got a good chance to pump through that trend line. It's hammered on it 4 times now, so that's enough to break. You got XLE backing off, but this is a good back off day, right? It's down 7 cents, and you got a hammer on the daily. I think the path of least resistance there is up for now. And OIH, again, it's hammering on the 20, but it's pushing off of that. So this has got a good shot here. Energy might finally come back. Or it's just Lucy with the football again, but we'll see. Dollar index, and this is another thing too, all right? The Fed's cutting, right? Like, shouldn't rates be going down? Shouldn't the dollar be going down? It's up, right? We talked about this. We warned about a spike of the low and a failed breakdown, and there it is, right? So again, don't just assume that because the Fed cuts, rates are going to go down, the dollar's going to go down, right? If it starts going the other way and the Fed's cutting, that could be a big problem. Gold backing off here again. It's not horrible, but again, like I said, I wouldn't be long ahead of the Fed, and so far it's been a minor sell the news for now. Silver, nice bounce today. It's flattish, so it's still holding up. But GDX flat. Let me check those. Yeah, miners are hanging in there. Again, watch those. If they start breaking down, it could be a leading indicator. It has been in the past, and it was recently, right? These kept making new highs. GDX kept making new highs, even as gold and silver were flat to sideways. So it told you this move was coming. Platinum, tightening up there. That might have a little bit more to go. Palladium backing off, but we got a little possible higher low here. So again, back above 12 is good. Still nobody cares about copper. And then Bitcoin and ETH today, decent day. Let me get back to our normal chart. Put our lines on, there we go. And you're above 116.5, so this looks okay. This can go to 120, 120 and a half maybe, and then if it gets through that, it's at new, go to a new high. Got a little bit of supply up here for sure, right there, and up here, but it's okay, looking fine. ETH flat here, it's above the moving averages, so no problems really in crypto right now. That said, I would just be a little cautious here, especially if we gap tomorrow. Everybody wanted to tell me about bull bear spreads and stuff. I don't really think AAII is that important because it was and I've got the charts to show you if you want to look at them. I can pull them up tomorrow. But there was during this entire move here, bears were at 55% the whole way down through May. So it's just not a good enough indicator anymore. But since everybody loves it, there you go. Massive jump in bulls here. So if you think it counts one way, then you have to say it counts the other way, and you have to acknowledge that. And AAIM was about the same this week too, which is still quite elevated. So anyway, that's it. We'll talk about more tomorrow. And we'll see what happens here. But spiders coming off the highs a little bit here. We got 30 minutes left. They'll probably make a run at those highs tomorrow, I would think. So anyways, I'll wrap it up here. You guys take care. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com. I'll see you guys all tomorrow.